The Allegheny Journal is delighted today to speak with Mike Nunnally, whom we met about 5 years ago and had coached at a boys' home, but also had been a boys' home boy years and years ago. Welcome, Mike.
Good to be here with you.
We first met Mike when he was hired as a basketball coach for boys' home, but he's also an author, and he's written a compelling book that he's going to tell the boys' home audience about on December 9th. And he'll be present for a book signing. So, Mike, I think the community is looking forward to your talk, and we appreciate very much you taking the time to speak with us.
Well, I'm happy to be here. When you write a memoir, you want people to read it. So that's why I'm here.
You were at Boys Home from 1956 to 1963. Tell the folks, how did you come to Boys Home? What were the circumstances?
Well, I came to Boys Home because I was placed in social services. I was living in Norfolk, Virginia at the time, and my mother and stepfather, and particularly my stepfather, they were abusive. And on a Saturday afternoon, July the 6th, I believe, 1956, the police came to my door. Someone had alerted them to what was going on. They came to my door, knocked on it, and when I opened that door and stepped back, they couldn't believe they found me standing there with a chain on my leg. So I was.
Would you hold that book up? Would you hold the book cover up for the audience so they can see this?
Sure.
And hold it up a little bit higher because it shows the chain on your right leg.
Can you see it now?
Well, you need to hold it up a little bit higher. There we can see it. We got it.
All right.
Mike, this almost brings a tear to an old man's eyes here. This is, an incredible situation. And the article about your talk mentioned that in coming to Boys Home, or at least you indicated that you felt it changed your life, and that Christian principles were a big part of that. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. My sister Celia, who was 13 years older, she recently passed. God bless her. She started taking me to an Episcopal church in Norfolk, Church of the Ascension, when I was 6 years old. She and my brother, who was 10 years older than I, after they left our house, I continued to go by myself, sang in the choir and all that. And the reason I got to Boys Home, like I said, I was placed in social services, and the priest at Church of the Ascension sent a telegram to Bob Burrows, who was the director of Boys Home at the time. And he said, "We've got a boy here who needs a permanent home. There's been a lot of stuff talked about him. There was a picture in the paper, an article in the paper. And, so anyway, that's how I ended up there."
Well, you over the years, you've been a PE teacher, and I think, didn't you tell me you've coached baseball and basketball as well?
I did, but I want to go back before I talk about that to mention, of course, Boys Home at that time and still is an Episcopal affiliated home. Of course, we went to Emmanuel in Covington, for a long time, and I kept my faith with me through the years. Of course, like a lot of guys, when I went to college and I was in the Army, I drifted a little bit, but I clung to those principles of Christian faith and eventually returned back to the Episcopal Church. And my memoir ends in 1992 when I had just completed 9 summers of a church camp, to being the director of a church camp for the Diocese of Virginia, Shenandoah Valley. So I wanted to, let folks know. And I'm still, a lifelong Episcopalian. I've led mission trips to New Orleans to help rebuild after Katrina, etc. Now, back to my coaching days. Yes, I coached baseball and mainly for 31 years at Loudoun County Public Schools, 26 years at Parkview High School, and I did coach basketball and baseball along the way. And the reason I got into coaching to begin with was because of my love of athletics that I got from Boys Home. Played basketball and baseball there. We were a dominant team. I was lucky to have a really good coach, Paul Seipel, and some great players with me along the way. So, yes, I really enjoyed my teaching. I taught PE at Loudoun County and coached and retired in 2002.
Well, you know what? Now remember speaking with you when you were hired to take over the basketball program, and I could sense that it was a sense of self-confidence, and the guys around you. I distinctly remember taking the pictures now, and those guys had confidence in you, and sure enough, you immediately had a winning season.
Well, the first year was a struggle. They weren't used to a professional coach, someone who demanded a lot out of them. But the next year, we were very good.
And so the book Unchained is what you will be discussing on December 9th. I guess people who would like a copy of it may buy one at the book signing. But I think I heard that it's also available on Amazon.
Yes. I want to clarify one thing. There are a lot of books whose title starts with Unchained, believe it or not. So if someone wants my book, they have to look at the title, subtitle, Unchained, A Journey from Abuse to Inspiration. And of course, my name, Mike Nunnally. It will be available up at Boys Home. And you can get it on Amazon. I self-published through KDP on Amazon. So if you go to Amazon, type in Unchained, A Journey from Abuse to Inspiration, you'll see that book come up. It's available in hardback, in paperback, and also an ebook. And hold on, there's going to be a Audible coming out of that book within the next 2 or 3 weeks. So, and I read it. I read the book myself for the Audible.
I think many of us are looking forward to your talk on December 9th. And you and I previously had spoken, we all can use additional inspiration. And I think that's, if nothing else, people will find the story compelling, but just the whole concept of inspiration that you've projected and have projected over the years is, amazing. So,
well, I my thing is, if you look at the cover of that book, that cover was taken from a picture in the newspaper with an article that I found last December. I went to the Library of Congress with my son, and I had been telling my son and daughter over the years, they took a picture of me in the police station, but I never saw it, of course. So we went and in the Library of Congress, we looked through the microfiche, and there it was. So, yeah, I got to Boys Home, and Boys Home, helped me so much. I struggled when I first got there, like a lot of guys. The program that they had was really, really good. The structure, the day by day, doing the same thing over and over and over, was really good. They never, they had discipline, but they never touched anybody, which, was good for me. And then I had 3 people who really influenced my life there. Bob Burrows, who was the director at the time, my house mother, Granny Myers, Frances Granny Myers. She was from Clifton Forge. And then my high school coach, Paul Seipel, who I think a lot of people will know and remember Paul. And in my memoir, I call him my Marlboro man. You know, back when they had the cigarette commercials,
Sure.
the big, good-looking, strong cowboy sitting on a horse. He was the guy I looked up to and tried to be like. Well, I would love to get in touch with a publishing company, probably a small one, maybe Christian oriented, who could help me tell my story. You know, my story is it's unique, but in a way, it touches a lot of people. A lot of my former students and ball players have said to me, you know, this has really helped them. So a story like mine of hope can really help folks, and I would love to have someone help me tell that story and spread it out. And oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, in conjunction with that, any profits that I make from this book are going to be split 50% with Boys Home. So that's another little incentive for people to read the book, and also let's help me get this thing published. Yeah, I invite everyone to come up. It's going to be at 1:30 in the dining hall. I'm sure they'll have some folks there directing traffic. We expect a nice crowd, and I'll have some books there. Some of my friends from the Covington area have already purchased the book. Of course, I'll sign those, but I'll also have some there for purchase and signing. And I thank you for having me.
Yeah. Nice speaking with you. See you soon.
Take care. Bye now.
And once again, thanks very much for taking the time to speak with us today. We wish you the best with the book.
Thank you so much. December 9th, 1:30, Boys Home Dining Hall. Come on out, folks.
See you soon, sir.
Bye now.